there could be some awkward moments this season. Hi guys, Rachael Cook, Doctor of Audiology at Applied Hearing Solutions in Phoenix, Arizona. And in today's video, we're talking reality TV. If you haven't heard yet, the new seasons of ABC's The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise air this Thursday, September 28th, and I, for one, can't wait. And before you check, don't worry, this is not a press release from TMZ. There is, in fact, a reason why you're seeing this pop culture update on your favorite audiology YouTube channel. Following the same theme developed over the franchise's 20-year history, one leading man will be tasked with dating over 20 single ladies with the hopes of finding his forever match. But while the show typically casts participants in their 20s and 30s, this first ever spin-off series of The Golden Bachelor will highlight the experience of older adults looking for love later in life. This season's lead, 71-year-old Gary Turner, already found his forever once with his late wife, Toni, with whom he spent over 40 years before her sudden passing in 2017. 6 years after her passing, Gary is ready to find someone to love during his golden years. And while I was already happy to hear of this new and unique switch up to the show, I was even more ecstatic to spy something in the promotional teaser. But before we dive in, if you could please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps videos like these get in front of a wider audience. And of course, if you haven't yet already, make sure to hit that subscribe button with notification bell so that you never miss any one of our newly released videos. All right, here we go. Can you see it? You'll have to really look. That's right. A quick zoom in to the back of his right ear and you'll catch a tiny glimpse of a hearing aid. Although it may not seem like a huge deal to some, there's been a lengthy battle to fight the stigma that comes with wearing hearing aids. In the past, hearing aids were rather large and created audible feedback, making them easily seen and often heard by others. But gone are the days of your grandma or grandpa's clunky, squeaky hearing aids. These days, modern hearing aids are available across an impressive size range and packed to the brim with features you could only dream of years ago. And while I can speak about all of the incredible design changes and features that we've seen over the last few decades in the hearing aid industry, nothing is better than seeing it front and center on primetime TV. While Gary is the first ever lead with hearing loss, he follows in the footsteps of Bachelor alum Abigail Heringer, who was the first ever deaf contestant on The Bachelor. During her time on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, Abigail was vocal about her deafness from birth and her use of a cochlear implant to hear. Although her time on the show is over, she is recently engaged to Bachelor in Paradise contestant Noah Erb and continues to advocate about hearing loss. She even hosts a weekly video series on TikTok called Hear Me Out, talking about all things hearing loss, communication strategies, and opening up conversations about the emotional aspects of hearing loss. Because the show hasn't started yet, we don't know the definitive cause of Gary's hearing loss, but I can assume that it may have something to do with age. Age-related hearing loss, otherwise known as presbycusis, is the most common cause of hearing loss, affecting 2/3 of people over the age of 70. Presbycusis is the result of the deterioration of inner and outer hair cells in the cochlea, your hearing organ. This type of hearing loss generally impacts the higher pitches that are responsible for clarity and distinction of speech. While you can still hear many sounds, high-frequency hearing loss can make it very difficult to understand just what is being said, often making it seem as though people are mumbling. This is especially true when trying to hear soft talkers, fast talkers, or those with high-pitched voices like women and children. Presbycusis is often first noticed by trouble understanding dialogue on the TV, difficulty following conversations and background noise, and asking for repetition more often. Using what we learned from the previous seasons of the show, dating over 20 women at once while surrounded by dozens of camera crew and staff can remove a bit of privacy. This often results in brief and whispered conversations that could prove difficult for Gary to follow if he wasn't treating his hearing loss with hearing aids. And with all this commotion about his hearing aids, it's time to answer the question, what hearing aids does the Golden Bachelor wear? First and foremost, the style of hearing aid that Gary is seen wearing is called a receiver in canal hearing aid. This hearing aid style is the most popular on the market, worn by nearly 80% of all users, and for good reason. Receiver in canal hearing aids are not only discreet, but can be programmed to treat nearly any type of hearing loss configuration. In fact, they are extremely popular for age-related hearing loss because they can provide high-pitch amplification without blocking off the ear canal, keeping sound nice and natural. These devices use disposable or rechargeable batteries and can even Bluetooth connect to mobile devices to listen to music, take phone calls, or change hearing aid settings on a smartphone app. But in order to identify which hearing aid Gary has, my eyes jumped to two main features. Number one, the color of the hearing aid, and number two, the buttons on the back. Color offerings vary by manufacturer, almost always including a wide variety of hair colors and skin tones, with the occasional fun color here or there. While color offerings are similar between manufacturers, there are always slight differences, and this color seems to be the champagne color available in Starkey products. This seems to be confirmed by the buttons of the rocker switch located on the back of the hearing aid that are a bit more square than other receiver and canal hearing aids. Additionally, the microphone cover seen at the top of the device is common with Starkey's receiver and canal lineup that was produced over the last 7 years. However, we can't say for certain what model of hearing aid this is exactly, because Starkey used this exact body style over several different generations of technology. Starkey's newest release this year, the Genesis AI, has a brand new updated body style, so we know that Gary hasn't upgraded technology just yet. And while Starkey is an excellent hearing aid brand, don't go running to replace your hearing aids just yet. This is because hearing aid brand is only one component of optimal hearing treatment. More important than the brand is the way that these devices have been configured and programmed for your own hearing loss goals, needs, and preferences. In Gary's case, it's going to be extremely important that he is able to hear all of those soft, whispered conversations of those high-pitched female voices. To wrap things up, putting a very handsome man with hearing loss who wears hearing aids as the lead on a primetime dating show will no doubt open the conversation about hearing loss and hearing treatment for many people. Whether Gary knows it or not, wearing his hearing aids on the show will play a huge role in normalizing hearing treatment and reducing the stigma of wearing hearing aids. Now, let's see if his hearing aids are programmed well enough to hear all of the whispered sweet nothings and all of the hot gossip.